Right now, there are families in your area searching Google for assisted living, and they're finding your competitors instead of you. Every single day that happens, that's an empty bed that could have been filled. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that. I'm Ronald Osborne, the founder of Senior Living Mastery. We are the only marketing agency built exclusively for senior living facilities. I literally wrote the book on this, Senior Living Marketing Mastery. We own and operate assisted living near mum, a national directory of over 7,000 assisted living facilities across the country. We work with dozens and dozens of facilities, but the case study I'm most proud of is of Sunny Hills in Florida. They're on the verge of shutting down their doors. After working with us for 4 years now, they're now thriving and looking to purchase their third location. So when I tell you that SEO can fill beds, I'm not guessing, I've done it, and we're doing it all the time. What is senior living SEO? SEO, search engine optimization, is the process of getting your website and your Google business profile to rank right here in Google, up the top. You want to be up the top because up the top will get you more. So the process of SEO is going about cleaning up your website, making it optimized, and optimizing your Google business profile so you can show up the top. This is all by design. It is not a mistake. And by being here, as you would know, when you go onto Google, you click the top results. You do not click the things that are down the bottom. That's what search engine optimization is. It's the process of getting your website and your Google business profile up the top. Let me explain why your senior living facility must optimize for search engines like Google and the AI engines that are coming. Now, I've been in this space for many, many years. What I believe is going to happen in the near future that will directly impact senior living facilities is AI. We are not going to see a lot of browsers. Okay, what I think is going to happen is AI is going to be more of a handheld thing where we're talking to it. Now, if you're a senior living facility owner and you're not caring about SEO, you're sitting there thinking, redundant. Well, SEO ties in with reputational management. So if the AI can't find all of these positive listings about your business, your facility, you're in trouble, because that's not going to then convey confidence to the individual that the AI is speaking back to. So it's very, very important that you pay a lot of attention to search engine optimization, because this helps drastically in reputational management. I have several other videos on reputational management, how to take care of that in Google. Jump over and watch them if you'd like. But this one specifically about SEO, but it's also why you need to be thinking about it going forward. Where to start with SEO for senior living facilities? Very, very simple. Let's get the ball rolling. Now, before you do anything, it's very important that you assess that the juice is worth the squeeze. I always stress this to facility owners. They might go and watch 1 or 2 YouTube videos and think that SEO is the right thing to do for them. That is not always the case. So what you need to do is need to go across and assess whether there's an ROI for us or not. That's the first thing. Start here. So you get these sheets that I have by going to our website or going to the description down below. So you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and this will take you across to this tab, and you just input your details there and we'll email it across to you. And what you get is all of the sheets. So everything that I show you today, all of this, this is how you get it all. It's all there for you. So once you're looking for the SEO strategy checklist, start here. Then what we need to do is we want to scroll across to SEO forecasting ROI and the ROI calculators. These are the 2 things that we need to look at first. Now, I'm going to be using this tool called SEMrush. Now, obviously, you might not have access to this tool because maybe you don't know SEO. This is the tool, like this is the top tier tool that you need if you want to perform SEO accurately. So obviously we have it. I'm going to be showing you everything today with this tool. There are free options out there, but this is the best of the best. And if you hire us, you expect the best. So I use the best tool. I'm going to walk you through it today because I always get comments about, hey, you use SEMrush? Well, if you want the best results and most accurate results, you've got to use the best tools. So first thing we need to do is assess if this is worthwhile. We're going to look at the main keyword, which is, we'll go with assisted living Tampa. That's a keyword we're going to go with today. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to discern a couple of things from this, right? So all we do is keyword overview, and we go down into SEMrush. Now you can use the free tools from Google in their paid ads, sign up for a paid ads account, and you can get the keyword planner data from this. Not as insightful, but it's enough to give you some numbers. So we've got that. Now, what I want you to do is you've opened up this this sheet, okay, the SEO strategy checklist. Very easy. You've scrolled across the tabs down the bottom. All we're focused on right now is the SEO forecasting stuff, okay? So we need to assess, okay, what's going to be worth it? So let's start with the SEO forecaster. We're going to get some rough numbers. This is just quick. Okay, so let's delete that. Delete these. Just going to delete all of this stuff here. I'm going to put in my main keyword. Now, all of the formula, can be edited here. Anything that's always like an orangey type color, this is normally where you input the metrics. So conversion rate, what you're looking at to convert. You should know this. If you don't know this, run with a safe bet of, maybe you're looking at around about 1.5. That's a safe number. If you get up the top, of course, that's what you're factoring in. But again, that's a conservative number. The cost of referral domains, so that's backlinks. We'll cover backlinks later, but it's links from other websites to your website. Cost of reviews, so getting reviews for people. So as an example, if we look at the SERP right now, remember what the SERP is, search engine results page. If we look at the SERP, we have to discern, okay, how many reviews do our competitors have? Maybe you've just set up, maybe you're at 30 reviews. You've got to sit here and just quickly ascertain, okay, 61, 151, and then we've got 17. All right. So you've got to sit there and discern, okay, what should I be doing here? What's a sort of average point? Okay, well, my 30 is actually probably not bad. I can sneak into the map pack, but I'm not going to be number one. This is the map pack for anyone that doesn't know that terminology. Okay, so this is the map pack. Organic listings are down here. All right. And obviously paid ads up the top. Whoops. So that's that. All right. Now what we want to do, we go back to our sheet. Okay. So this is where you can put in the average transactional value for you. Now you can use your lifetime value if you would like in here. Obviously being a facility, you can be putting in $125,000. Around about 120,000 is sort of typical. So we can put this in here. Okay, so we've got 120. Like I said, you can use lifetime value. This is a little bit different, but this is what I like. Cost of reviews. Again, let's say that the review count we need to maybe build, let's just say I like to be at least a little bit above par with the number 2 guy. So it was 61. So like I said, we're at 30. Let's just say we've got 35 reviews to build. Okay, required referring domains. And this is where this sheet comes into play a little bit. Okay, so it's just a little bit more powerful than anything we can compare to, as an example, the stuff from free stuff from Google. Now, what you want to do is you want to assess, okay, how hard is it to actually rank for, right? How many referring domains is there on average that our competitors have? And how many backlinks do those pages have? Then you want to do a quick little look over to the domain and see, okay, because it can be misleading. Maybe they've got a very powerful website, but that one page that they have is weak. So you'll be sitting there going, oh, sick, I only need to build 5 referring domains, 5 backlinks. But it's not the case. Maybe they've got 300,000, or as an example, like these guys here, they've got backlinks, they've got 23,000. And you're sitting there going, ripper, I only need to build, 5? But they're quite powerful. These are the things that you need to factor in when you're doing senior living SEO. You have to start looking at all of these numbers. So what I'm looking at is I'm sitting here and I'm assessing, okay, from a page level, we can see 87's up top, 15. Then when I flick back through to how powerful they are overall, I'm seeing that on average, I'm going to need probably 1,000 to 2,000 backlinks. So we're just going to put a rough number in here. Let's just do 2,000 as an example. So we can sit here and just say, okay, this is what we've got to do. Now, when it comes to the search volume, this is how many searches a month this keyword has. You can see that there's 1,000 for assisted living in Tampa. There's 1,000. Don't go with global. Global's misleading. And something to note too, I'll give you a nice tip when it comes to doing a bit of keyword research. I do go deeper. There's other videos on keyword research because that obviously helps you when it comes to all of your paid advertisement. So there's heaps of more videos on that. I'm just skimming over it for this one. But main thing is we're looking here. And the main thing is I want you to pay attention to, if you notice like a huge spike up in these bars in SEMrush, that's AI. Playing a bit of an influence and mucking up the actual numbers. So this is quite consistent. So knowing this 1,000, you can sit here and go, all right, I feel confident that that's 1,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and we're going to go 1,000. Okay. Now, what do the numbers tell us? You might be sitting there going, what does this mean, Ronnie? Realistically, this is how much money it's going to actually cost us to build out backlinks, to build out the reviews to get us mid-par. And again, these are estimates, but it's nice to just put some figures to it. I've got an MBA specializing in finance, turn everything to numbers. So you can see here, all right, well, the average person that we land for us, the lifetime value for us, I know I've got ATV here, but because we have worked with other companies in the past, and I own several other companies as well myself personally. So this is what I'd be putting in for you is a lifetime value. Right, and you can start to see, oh, the numbers are worthwhile here. Okay, you can drastically see here's the expenditure right here. All right, here's what we could be earning. Now I know it says a month. If you break it down again into the monthly rate of 3,500, let's say for a bed. Okay, here we go. If we were to potentially get, as an example here, 15 conversions. Now, obviously, you need to factor in we're slightly different to a roofing company that can continue to scale. Once we've maxed out the occupancy at the facility, we need a new facility. So there is that sliding scale that you need to be aware of. But the main thing is before you start doing any SEO, before you start doing PPC, before you even talk to a guy like me, check the numbers first. If you don't know how to check the numbers, reach out to us. That's what the 30-minute discovery call's for. You can book that for free. And we check the numbers for you. But this is something that you should be looking at. Okay, I've been given the green light. You see red and it's down the bottom, not good. Okay, that's where you want to be like, this is not something good for us. You're doing this first, just to ascertain, okay, I've got X amount of beds to fill. This is how much they're telling me the whole SEO venture is going to cost over the lifetime. You know, this is what it is. Now, you might be sitting there going, Ronnie, I don't know the numbers of these things. Look, this is pretty typical, this price. For us, obviously, getting links in the health space, they are a little bit more expensive. To be honest, if you go out there and build them yourself, you're looking at around about $150 to $350 for a good link. So yes, factor that in if you're going to do it yourself. Now the cost of reviews. How much work do you need to put in? How many hours do you need to pay the receptionist to be calling and or your staffing team to be calling people and say, hey, we need a review. Your mother's been in here for 6 months. She's stoked with it. She loves it. Can you leave the facility a review? So these are the things you need to factor into the cost there, obviously. On an SEO volatility analysis. Now, what this does, and this is going to sound technical, but it's not, and it's very easy to do. This is something that's looked over in the SEO world, especially today. I'm all about saving my clients money. I'm all about being strategic where we invest our funds. So before we even go ahead and invest any money in the SEO, we've seen that there's an ROI to be made there, but is it even possible to actually rank there? Is it possible for Google to reward our facility? Well, we need to ensure that Google will have room for our keywords. So I built this. All of the tools you see, these are all our custom built tools. Like we built this is, like I said, we're experts in this space. So what we've done is we built this. Now, what this SERP volatility analysis actually does is it runs consistently in Google. So again, if we go assisted living Tampa and we put it in and you put it in again, you'll notice there's little fluctuations. There's little changes. What this tool actually does is it tests how strong and weak that SERP is. We want to see what that volatility is doing. And why is this important for you and your senior living SEO strategy? Because if you don't do this, you might be going up. You might think that it's easy, but if you run this report and see that it's hard, you could have just wasted thousands and thousands of dollars. Right? Remember, be strategic with your resources. So all you need to do to run this tour, I've run it. So we've already got the answers. What we've done is we've put in assisted living Boca Raton. This is just an example. I know we've got Tampa, but just as the example, assisted living Boca Raton. Okay, so you put your keyword in here, United States. And again, there's a video on this specifically. Go and watch it if you want to learn more. And then you can change it to desktop or mobile. English, if you are looking to do anything in Spanish as well, you can change that out to ES. So you can go nuts with that. This does work all around the world. Now, when it comes to the results, what this is doing is, as you can see, it's showing us where there's strength, where there's weaknesses, right? Now, when we come over to the volatility, this is the main thing we're focused on, especially for this video. If we're looking to rank for assisted living Boca Raton, we want to discern, okay, is position 1 to 3, that's where the money is. In any SEO game, position 1 to 3, that's where the money is. The more that Google's rewarding paid ads, the more that Google's pushing down maps, this stuff's more and more valuable, okay? So you can see the volatility, and the main thing is you need to focus on, especially if you're not familiar or comfortable with SEO, is the difficulty, all right? You can see that it's hard. That's not good. It's not good. That means, okay, you're going to need someone like me to help you to rank for assisted living Boca Raton. But if you were to see moderate or opportunity or easy up the top in position 1 to 3, you're laughing. And I'll be brutally honest, if you watch all of my YouTube videos, you read Senior Living Marketing Mastery, you'll probably do this yourself. So, thing is, if you can get into position 4, you're still going to get leads. Reason I love the space we're in is because, like roofers and other individuals, everyone shops around. They never ever just go, this is a facility, I love the pictures, I'm done. That's very rare. Most people will inquire to multiple facilities. Okay, before they do a tour, before they do anything, they set up multiple inquiries. So that's good opportunity for us. You can see here, if you scroll down, we've got a nice little thing here, just saying good opportunity, 48 out of 100, go nuts, mate. So now, before we've invested any money, we've invested 20 minutes to do some research to ascertain, okay, can we go after this keyword? 1, is my assisted living facility going to make money if we rank up the top? We've checked that off. We've checked off the SERP volatility. Can I actually rank for it? Is it going to be something that's possible? We've checked that off. So what you want to do, come over to the SEO checklist. And again, I've made this nice and easy for everyone. You just come to the start of it, scroll down a little bit. Okay, ID, current keyword and performance, quick review. We've done that. Now the competitors, okay? So we want to grab the top 3 competitors. Now I'm going to make this nice and easy. Chances are you'll know who your competitors are, but I don't suggest that you put in the people that you know. You might be sitting there going, Ronald, that sounds stupid. Why? I've been here for 10 years. We got the facility for 15. I know who's over there, who's over there, who's over there. Yes, you might know that. But what's Google rewarding? You're doing something for Google. Google, the reason I love SEO is Google's saying, hey, mate, I'm rewarding these guys, Aussie and me, obviously, because they're doing something well. If you do this well too, I'll reward you. That's why SEO is fantastic. Okay, so we don't want to go out there and reinvent the wheel. We want to just do exactly what Google is telling us to do. So that's why, for me, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down and see who we've got. Assisted living, obviously, massive housing authority. Okay, so we've got Brookdale. Okay, everyone knows Brookdale, place for mum. Yep. So we can see organically, there's obviously some directories popping up here. There's not really a lot of main competitors. So what I'd actually be doing is, if this was me and I'm trying to rank for this, my focus really would actually be on the maps. Now, you're going to sit there and go, Ron, I also want to rank organically. Yes, you do. But going against, remember, a place for mum, like, yes, we have assisted living near mum, an enormous directory that takes a lot of resources to run. They have 100 employees just for that business. Do you have a staff of 100 doing your marketing endeavors? No, but we can beat them here. And this is actually what matters more. All right. So for this scenario, I'm sitting here going, let's focus on getting the competitors that are in the map pack. I'm not getting this guy because you can see it's sponsored. All right. They're paying to be there. So let's just open up this. But for argument's sake for the video, so I'll cover all of this so you guys know and understand how I would look about going about this for the senior living SEO. My biggest thing would be, again, assistedliving.org. They're really doing well. They're enormous. Right? A lot of these guys are actually quite big. Now, what I would do is if it's not these types of websites showing in there, yes, go and grab your competitors, grab them out and then run away with that. So you can sit there and be like, okay, he's number 2, he's number 3, he's number 4. They're the guys you can use. But if they're pushed down like this and scattered, and I start telling you to get the numbers, you're getting misleading numbers. That's why I'm not doing it. I'm going to show you real ways about going about senior living SEO so you actually nail it. So now we're performing the competitor research. Now, again, Allegro, they're big. They've got multiple locations. What would I be doing in this scenario? I'm talking to someone that's maybe 1 or 2 location facility owners. Okay. That's who I'm assuming I'm talking with right now, because I'll be honest, if you had a lot more and you didn't care about trying to do it yourself, you'd just be chatting with me directly, right? It's not coming across as arrogant. It's just the honest truth. I'm Australian. I was in the army. Just tell it how it is. So the thing is, in this space, these guys, they're too powerful. Again, like I was saying before, small page power, but because their website's so enormous, they're ranking for a term. They're being rewarded because Google trusts them. Should you analyze them in the analysis? No, I would drop them. But these 2 guys, I believe it's Colonial and Hudson, absolutely. These are the perfect competitors. So what I'd suggest we do, let's go back to Colonial, is we want to grab their website. So we're just going to go to the homepage now on both websites. The reason we're doing that is because we want to understand what we're working with. So we're going to come into SEMrush. We're going to go into the domain overview, put that information in here. Okay, so what we do now is we grab our competitors' information. So a couple of numbers that we'll need to, this is for Hudson Manor, authority score. What that's doing is it's telling us how strong they are. This is just the generic metric assigned by SEMrush. It weights the traffic, how much they're getting here, because these are outside looking in tools. They're not as accurate as Google's data, but it's the best assumption that you have. So authority score of 10. Now, what I'd suggest, you go over the SEO sheet, okay, competitors, come down here. Now, I'm just going to put Hudson here. We want to scroll across just a little bit. Okay, so total keywords that they're ranking for, total pages, backlinks, all of this. Now, I'll show you exactly how you figure out all of this. So first thing we want to look at, authority score of 10, okay, organic traffic, organic keywords. That means how many keywords they're ranking for. Again, assisted living Tampa, best assisted living Tampa, those are 2 keywords, okay? That's not saying that that's what they rank for, but they rank for 362 keywords. That's important. 97 referring domains and 251 backlinks. Those are important numbers for us. So what we want to do, total referring domains was 97, 251 backlinks, and total keywords was, just off the top of my head, 362. Now we go across and grab Colonial. I know they're a bigger site because I've competed against them and beat them in the past. So just put this here, okay? So when it comes to, again, organic keywords, 1,500, 197, 535. Okay. Now I am using just 2 websites here because obviously the other one wasn't. I would suggest 3. when we look at I believe it was Allergo, it's not appropriate to be using this, and how big and strong their website is will save their map listing for the maps analysis, not for the organic. Because remember what I was telling you before, when you tie the wrong things in and you analyze to the wrong point, you could sit there and be like, ooh, this is not worth it for me. But it is. I'm telling you, if I have an assisted living facility in Tampa, come and chat with me, I guarantee I can get you sitting pretty. But the thing is, if you're doing this yourself, you need to factor all this in, because again, I've done this for many years now. I know what I'm looking at. So we're not going to analyze them on the organic side. We're just going to analyze these two competitors, all right? Because I want you to understand what you're looking at and how to look at it. So you can see here's some averages. Average is obviously 931. That's why it's better to have 3, because you can find the median. I like the median. Average will be 393 backlinks, and the average referring domains. Difference between referring domains and backlinks, we'll cover all that stuff later, but it's just important to note. Now, total pages, you can have a look at this. This is not an important metric anymore, total pages. It used to be. So Google, what is his name? John Mueller. He said back, I can't remember when he put it out, maybe 2016, he said, we're hardly going to consider an authority a website of 30 pages. He put out like a tweet like that. What's that telling you? The bigger the website, the better. But in today's age, that is not the case. It can actually be detrimental. So I don't want you to sit here and again go, oh, they've got 500 pages. Oh, I've got to have 500. What I'm seeing right now, what I've been seeing for the last couple of years, is less is more in the SEO game. Now, citations, we'll come to that later. All right, that's something we will assess later. We can review the competitors' SEO strengths and weaknesses right here, just simply by having a look at these numbers right here. Okay, this will just immediately give you the insight who's the authority. What we need to do from here is perform the keyword research. All right, I'll explain the process. What we always do is we start with Google. You start with Google, and this is where you can get some ideas. Again, there's a very detailed video specifically on this, so I'm going to rush through it very quickly just to give you what you need to do for this SEO senior living video. But the detailed video, jump over and watch that, because that covers it head to toe. But Google is where we'd start, okay? And the reason I like starting in Google, because it shows us what to look at. Now, if you just go up the top and you click again, look at all of these variations of search terms. Low income assisted living, Tampa, Florida. These are the types of terms that you can then use. Luxury assisted living, Tampa, Florida. These are things that you can build pages around. You can add into your content. These are additional keywords that you can go after. Because again, if we rank for assisted living Tampa, which is 1,000 searches a month, but then we also rank for best assisted living facility, and I'll even show this as an example, then immediately we're jumping up our potential traffic. So we could go ALF Tampa. All right, let's just do ALF Tampa and let's see what it is. 880 searches. So all of a sudden, if we can rank for 2 terms, immediately we've just got 1,880 potential searches. See how it's smart to look and do a little bit of keyword research. But again, right now we're just focusing on that main term, assisted living Tampa. That's it. So what we want to do, and you do this process for everyone, okay? You go to keyword research. Once you've got that, you go to the keyword research. All right, this is the tab we're going to need. You can come across to the target keywords. This is where you can put in your target keyword. We know that it was 1,000. You can add any comments you want in here, just so you're doing this for each one. It's the same process. What I show you now is the same process for each one. It's tiresome, sometimes it's boring, but that's senior living SEO. It's methodical. So you can put your position as well where you were. Maybe you're number 5, maybe you're number 6, right? But you can put where you were. Now, next part is keyword research tab, okay? So now what we need to do is you come over to SEMrush, we're going to do a backlink gap analysis. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll all the way down to, I'm going to open up something on page 4, because I guarantee you there'll be an assisted living facility here that's just not doing too well. All right, let's definitely make sure health and wellness. Yep, so this is the one facility, okay? So they're not doing too well with their SEO. So what I want to do is I want to use these guys, all right, as our example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put their domain in here. I'm going to assess what we've got going on just quickly before anything else happens. Okay, so Legacy is the assisted living facility that we're going to be using as the example. So this one right here, what we're looking at, same thing, organic keywords, referring domains, and backlinks. So we'll input that data on our sheet. I'm going to move my sheet right across here because I always put them here. Total keywords, 206. Total backlinks was 2,000. And referring domains, I've already forgotten, which was 115. Okay. Now our authority score, what we got? We've got 21. Now, is that number important? No, it's not. It doesn't mean, oh, we're better, we should be ranking. Case in point, these guys have an assisted living facility in Tampa and they're on the 4th page of Google. What's going on? All right. This is where you are. You're not showing up, so we've got to figure out what we've got to do. Now we're going to get started on I'm going to jump ahead and do the keyword research first, because we've already had a look at our website. The Google Business Profile setup, we'll take care of that later, but it is a step that we'll come back to later. I like to keep the flow. Deep competitor research, right? That's where you can review the core web vitals and things like this if you'd like to. What I would suggest is we've already realistically done it. Core web vitals, important, but not as important as actual numbers. All right, so let's just start with keyword research. We'll do this in one hit. We'll come back to that. Because this is a video, I suggest you do this at the start, because then what happens is it actually takes a minute for the report to run. So because it's a video, I can just jump ahead. So keyword research, all right? What we're going to do is we're going to go to Keyword Gap on SEMrush. We're going to change Colonial is definitely not us. We're going to add our competitors here, right? We want to grab our website. Okay, so again, if you've put your website here, simply grab it from here, this in there. So now what we're looking at, and this is very important. This is very, very important that you do this, is you're looking at specifically what keywords your competitors are ranking for. So remember how I said as the example, if you're able to rank for multiple keywords, that's going to bring you multiple leads, multiple beds filled. And that's the best thing you could do. So we start with the keywords because it starts to give us a bit of an idea. The way this works is like so. You can see here we are, we're the one in blue. Here's Colonial, here's Hudson Manor, right? Orange, green, as depicted here. Now, with this stuff right here, assisted living Tampa, all right? Again, remember, this is pulling in the global. It's not pulling in the US only. I want the US only. We know it was 1,000. But realistically, you can sit here and start to see, ooh, if I start to rank some of these keyword variations, these are all different ways that people search on Google. You can add these numbers together. 1,300, 700, or 2,000, 2,700, 3,300. All of a sudden, it's gone from 1,000 people searching to thousands, okay? That is why we conduct keyword research. Again, shorter version of it. But this is what I want you to do. You export all of this data, all right? Export all of this. And now you can copy and paste. So you can paste all of that information in like so. Now, these are keywords, just to make you aware, these are keywords that are shared. You can do missing, you can do weak, you can do strong. Oh, let me go back, sorry. And what this is, or you can do all. I normally get all, and then you can copy that in. Obviously, it's going to take a minute. I'm just going to leave it as is. But if I was you, I'd suggest you do all, because that's where there's untapped. That's where there's unique. And maybe like that luxury example that we had, maybe you want to target the higher end, more money to be made there. Okay, so you're looking at those types of things. These, if you just go with shared, you're seeing what you already rank for. But I just showed you how to export it, add it in. Again, keyword video covers it in detail. So when we come back to this sheet now, we can easily sit here, and this is important for the strategy, which we'll talk about later. But what we're doing right now is we're sitting here using our competitors, because again, I promise you, you'll be sitting there. I've been in search engine optimization for many years now, and even just over the last 5 years, it has changed so much, and people search in different ways. So if you just sit there and assume, you could be wrong and you could be losing dollars. So get the data from your competitors. It's the fastest way to win in this space. And now we've done that, we need to perform a Google Business Profile Audit. This is by far the most important thing and a form of local SEO for senior living strategies. Local SEO, senior living SEO is a fantastic thing to do for a senior living facility. Local SEO always ties in using the Google Maps and using organic. SEO, if you were to say I do SEO, normally it just refers to organic, but local SEO for senior living facilities is the best thing where you're focusing on the Google Business Profile. Now, this is so underutilized, it's not funny. You go over to the spreadsheets, you'll find multiple sheets that I have that literally scrape your competitors' reviews and creates a SWOT analysis on their strengths and their weaknesses, which mean you get to improve from that information. Again, different video on that. You can go and find that. But what I'm going to do is walk you through the basics. And I assure you, if you follow this, if you follow what I'm doing right now, your life's going to be easy. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look at number one competitor. So let's put in, I believe it was, put in Hudson. All right, so now what we want to do is we're going to come back to this and we're going to open up the map pack. Once we've got the maps open, you can see here, all right, Great American Assisted Living at Tampa. I don't know what's going on with these guys. Maybe there's a hack, maybe there's something being sneaky being done. I'm just working with Google as we've got it. Could be wrong. Maybe they've acquired this company. I don't know. And they've linked it over to their website already, but the name hasn't changed. So that's going to cause a drop in conversions for them. So Colonial, if you need help again, reach out. But what you can see right now is these are our guys, and we need this information for us, okay? So we're going to start with this. This is linking to Colonial, so I'm calling it Colonial. I'm not calling it Great American Assisted Living Facility at Tampa. I don't know what's going on with the profile, guys. Obviously, the name's different to Colonial. It's not saying Colonial here. Nonetheless, it's ranking up the top, so we're still going to run with it, but I'll be calling it Colonial, just FYI. So what we want to do, first things first, 4.8 rating with 151 reviews. Okay, so let's go to Colonial. We get average rating, 4.8, and total reviews was 151. All right, now back, move this over here. Okay, something we want to confirm that the main category is assisted living facility. Just want to confirm that should be. In this space, it doesn't really change. It doesn't really be dramatic. I can almost guarantee that it'll be that. Okay. All right, so that information, 151. Now, you used to be able to get the pictures. Photos is super important for maps, guys. And this is super, super important. So something that I would suggest that you do, if this is possible, try and count how many images they have. So as you can see here, when I scroll down, it's not many. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, so they've got 28 images. All right, 28 images. total posts. This is another thing that we do want to assess. We want to see if there's any posts. Okay. Now the reviews, again, I've got a separate video on reviews. It is important. I would suggest that you watch it on how to go about analyzing these to get more out of it for your thing, not the video. I'm giving you the overall strategy, what you need to do, because I guarantee if you follow what I'm teaching you today, you're going to still get results. I guarantee it. So we want to see if they've put any posts up. So again, if you go to, like, as an example, my stuff, Senior Living Mastery, you'll see posts from our business profile. We can't see that here, right? So these guys aren't posting. So I'm coming back over to the sheet. I'm going to go 0. Right? Now, I'm also going to be using, okay, so that's them. Remember, Allegro, I'm going to be using. So I'm going to still use this. I'm going to copy this because I want a median value, guys. I like a median value here. Oh, this into, all right, so what we want to do, let's have a look at them. 61, 49, 4.9, 4.9, 61. Okay, posts and images. Let's see what they got going on. Got 4 and not many videos, not many images, rooms, exterior, amenities. Let's just make sure. Visitors. 5, 6, 7, 8. They've only got 8 images. I'm licking my lips if I'm assisted living facility in Tampa right now, I'll tell you that much. Okay, so there's a bit of numbers. Let's see if there's any posts happening on the business. It doesn't look like they're doing any posts either. Can't see any information there. So let's do 0. Posts used to be impactful. I'd say probably 2024, 2025. Posts used to be very impactful. Not so much, but it's still an important metric to gauge, because if someone's doing it quite competitively, you need to be doing it too. Final one that we're grabbing is obviously Hudson. Okay, so they've got 17, 4.8. Look at the total posts. Like they're posting either. Missing out, guys. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Look at all of these images and 360 images. Strange how this place with only 17 reviews are competing against the other places. This is why I say, guys, when you do an SEO for senior living facilities, images are so important. Look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So, 51 images. Interesting. Interesting thing to pay attention to. All right, so let's go and find where we are. So what was the name of the business we were looking for? It was Legacy. Okay, so Legacy at High Water, I think it was. Legacy at Highwoods. All right. Okay, so let's go and look for Legacy. Just do a simple Control F. Okay. Ooh, so you can see we're number 4. We're not doing too bad. We're number 4, but we're not in the map back. This is good. This is actually really good. Boom. So they've got a post. Okay, so they've got an actual post. So well done. 1 day ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago. Wow, they're pushing them out. They've been pushing them out. They've been trying to post more consistently. Again, guys, you're starting to note, like, this is very obvious. Yes, there are secrets in the SEO space, but at the same time, you're seeing them. You're seeing, okay, well, what we do is when it comes to us, let's go to post frequency. I would say on average, you're probably posting one post every maybe week, every 6 days. Again, I'm just throwing averages out there. Our reviews, I believe it was, we were at 4.7 with 58. Average rating, all right, 0.7. Total reviews was 58. Now, we'll run a grid search momentarily, so I'll show you what that actually means and what it looks like. Categories, living, yep, fine. And total post. Now, do you need to go on here and count the total post from your competitor? Not really. Again, it's not something that moves the needle like it actually used to be honest, guys. Please, like, don't sit here and there's so many more things you can do. So you can see that their frequency is quite good. Realistically, they are getting up something. They come in clusters. You can see they're doing posts in clusters. So they're not being consistent. They're clustering their posts. So when you sort of say they're maybe doing 5 to 7 day, like once every 5 or 7 days, they're putting up. I put up post frequency. This is for days. So they're doing one post every 6 days. That's probably what I'd say. Around in there, I'd be pretty comfortable. Total posts, a lot. Again, like I said, you don't need to go dramatic with it. All right, now we're going to perform an actual grid search. Let me show you how you conduct a grid scan. Now, this is our own tool. If you want to use something like this is a paid. You used to be able to pay $5, $10 and run a couple of these scans compared to having to sign up. I put this tool here, Local Falcon it's called. My one's different because it's obviously my tool, but just use this and you'll be fine. So you can see what I want to do is I want to use these guys here. So you just input the name. All right, input the name. Next. Now, assisted living Tampa, input the name there. We want to do custom area because that's a bit small. And the beautiful thing about this is we can actually move that grid further down into Tampa. So we can actually look outwards a bit. All right. Now, I'm just going to move it so it covers it. This is going to be a bigger scan, so it will take a minute to do. But I just want to show you how well, specifically down Tampa way, especially where Google thinks Tampa is, how well we're doing. So every single pin drop that you can see depicts a number. Now, the test is still running, but what this actually depicts is, you can see here, it says the number 2. It might be a little bit hard for you, but I'll explain it. It says the number 2. Now, what does that mean? It means if someone were to pull out their phone or even be on their desktop and type assisted living Tampa, position 2 is where they will be shown in the map pack. Okay. But as you can see further down in East Tampa, it says position 20. What does that depict? That means that you can't find them. They're past position 20. The tool stops measuring at position 20. Have you ever gone to position 18 to look for a service? I haven't. If you do, you're in trouble. Set up a business in that niche because you're bound to make money. So that's what that means. This is very important for us. You always want to run a grid scan because, again, if you were to search, let's just pretend, if you were to search from this area alone, you could be giving misleading data. So your SEO, your local SEO strategy for your senior living approach or your senior living facility is out of whack, not accurate. It's wrong. It's actually wrong. So you could be basing all of your assumptions off inaccurate data. And again, if you do that in SEO, you're losing thousands of dollars. You can't be wrong. You just cannot be wrong. But you can see here, all right, we do well here. But do most of our clientele live up here? No. Most of our clientele are going to live around these areas here. Right? I would have mapped the whole area out, but it's not really, almost down to Sarasota, but it's not really worth it because it's not appropriate. But you want to be able to be ranking well everywhere. So this is an important thing. We've run the scan and we can see, all right, we're not doing well. So grid search, I say poor. That is very, very, very poor. Okay. But now something that you can take away from this is you get to sit here and analyze and understand this data. Again, this is not just the bare minimum that needs to be done, but I assure you, if you just stick to the basics like this, I guarantee you're going to start getting results. I guarantee you. So the main thing is that you need to pay attention to is the review count, first of all. So I want you to come over and have a look at the average rating. You can see 4.8, well, we're 4.7. That needs to come up, right? That's got to come up. That's non-negotiable. Now, the median we use is a nice number. I like the median because it tells you what's in the middle. The median for total review count is 61. We're not far away. To be right in the middle, we're not far away, which is fantastic. Total posts, we've obviously got posts. They don't. Now, the median image point, and this is what's interesting. We can see the high. Look at the high. It's 51. We've got 58, and we're sneaking in. There's a couple of things that we've done right, and that's the images. The fact that they've got a lot of the 360 images, perfect, absolutely perfect. So they've done well there. So right away, you can immediately tell what you need to do. So if you were conducting local SEO for senior living facilities, your own facility, you can sit here and go, all right away, I know that my rating's not good. I've got to address that. My images are okay. My rating count, how many reviews that I'll actually need, needs to be higher. These are the types of things you can immediately assess and immediately have, okay, well, this is what I need to do. So you've got that now, and now you can move on to the next stuff. So we can tick off keyword research, we can tick off that we did the grid, and we can tick off the Google Business Profile audit. Now it comes to the backlink data, right? We've essentially grabbed a lot of the backlink data already from our competitors, but what we need to do is a backlink gap analysis. So just like the keyword gap, let's do a backlink gap. And if you keep the tab open, it should put in that same information for you, so it's nice and easy. Now, you can export this information as well. So again, very simple, Excel, export this. Now, let me explain some very, very detailed information that you need to understand when it comes to understanding off-page analysis and backlinking analysis for assisted living and senior living SEO. The most important thing is that you get backlinks that your competitors have. Why is that? It's because if Google sits there and it's rewarding these individuals, that is telling you that I'm rewarding these individuals because they're doing something right. I trust them. That's what Google's telling you. If you don't have the same links as your competitors, problem, big problem. Why's Google going to trust you? Google's already ranking people that are happy and being served, and customers, when they search, they're going through, completing the form, falling off Google. They're happy. Google knows that they're working. So why are they going to reward you if you try and be different? It doesn't work. So what you need to do is come and conduct a gap analysis. Now, where you can see there's 2 out of 3 matches, these are links that it means, as an example, we don't have it, but our competitors do. Both of them have this, both of them have this, both of them have this, both of them have this. We don't have any of it. Wonder why they're not ranking well? These are just the basics of SEO that you've got to get right. Now, where you don't need to pay as much attention to, when it starts to drop down to 1. But 2 and upwards, if you have 3 competitors, which, like I said, I suggest that you have, but for this scenario, we've got to use 2. But I can tell you right now, every single one of these links that have where it's 2, I'm going to try and go and get this link. All right? I'm going to go and try and get this link. I'm going to beg, borrow, and steal to get this link because my competitors have it. If I get these links, I'm going to move into the same graph. So again, very simple. I'll just open up that spreadsheet and copy and paste it in. One thing, like I said, is you just need to focus on the matches with 2. Build these links. Like, this is non-negotiable. I would be highlighting this yellow. This is non-negotiable. You have to go and build these links. All right. Again, if you don't know how to build backlinks, there's another video for that. This is not the video, but I'm explaining this is the strategy, the all-encompassing strategy behind senior living SEO. You do this, you're going to rank. So you need to build these links. So you've already got what you need to do with keyword research. You already know, okay, well, here's additional keywords that I've got to build content for. You now have the backlink data, and you did the Google Business Profile data. Next thing we want to have a look at is schema markup. Now, I'm just going to do one business for now because this is something that is important, but it doesn't make or break. It's something that you should do. So what you need to do is copy your competitor, and we go across to the Schema Validator. So that's that tool, Schema Validator. Open that up. It's going to open this tab up. Just paste in the URL and then hit Run Test. Okay, so this is the thing that's going to spit back. Now, what on earth does this mean, and what is schema markup? Schema markup is essentially search engine language. The reason this has been created was to cut through the noise of looking at all of the code on a page. So this gets straight to the point, is the best way of putting it. This gets straight to the point of, hey, Mr. Google, this is what you're looking at. AIs are using this, guys. So if you are conducting senior living SEO, make sure that you are inputting schema. Now, as you can see, this is just web page schema. It's actually not well done. It's actually very poorly done, I'm going to be honest. You can see here's the organization. So it's just telling Google, hey, this is who we are. Here's our logo. This is what the site language is in. It's in English. Now, here's the URL. Here's the content. Here's the height of the image, the width and the height of the image. Yada, yada, yada. Just talks about this, okay? So it talks about, should have a bit of our location as well on there. Just the basic stuff, okay? It actually doesn't even have their location, so that's not good. So they should have a setup where it lists all of their locations so Google could understand them better. Maybe that's why there's a discrepancy here. I don't know. But if they had this squared away, this could actually help them do better. They are doing well, but they could do better. So this is what you want to assess. You want to see what you've got, okay? Like I said, does it make or break your analysis? Absolutely not. But it is something that it's important to consider. If all of your competitors have this, you need to have it. Look at all of your competitors. Very easy to run the test. Okay, another video on doing the schema. Not the video because it does take a minute. And it is debatable if it actually works or not. Now we need to conduct citations. This is actually something that's very, very important for you. The way you get your citations is there's actually a tool. All right, so on our tool list, we have a tool that I can't find it. On the tab there, on this tab, in these tools, we've got a tool that actually does this for you. But this is a quick way to use the tool because it'll tell you where you're listed. Again, another video for that where I run through it. So go and watch that. But right now I'm going to show you a simple and fast way. Not as accurate, but it does get you some numbers. So we can sit here and go company name and site. All right, website. You're copying this. This is called a search operator. Go across to Google, you paste it in like that. Now you grab your website. Okay, grab your website. Now I would suggest, grab the website like us. Okay, and now you need your company name. I would use the company name exactly as it's shown on Google. So it needs to be exactly as it's shown. And then hit enter. Now what this is going to do is this is going to find where your business is mentioned. As you can see, obviously in this space, things like this, the company page, the Facebook page, a place for mum, Yelp, assisted living near mum, our own directory, all of these things are showing up here. Now, you can count how many there actually are. So you can keep going, you can keep going right to the end, right to the end, right to the end. Keep going. And this is where you can see there's 248, but there's some stuff here where it's actually not accurate. I can see the legacy heights gets lots of video calling. So you can see there's mentions of the business name minus the website. So you can sit there and go, okay, I'm using a little counter thing here. There's 248 mentions. Look, on each page, there's 10 mentions. So whatever you go to, if it's page 5, you know that there's 50 mentions. And if you go down a little bit more, you've got to go to page 6, you know, it's 65 as an example. So that's how you can do that, or you can install this. Maybe you need it, maybe you don't. It'll be, I think it's this plugin here, the SEO Pro extension. So you can sit there and go 248. So we can come back here and go total citations. These are mentions of our business on Google. This is important for reputation management and for SEO. So now what we'll do is we'll just do one of our competitors. I'd like to do Colonial, to be completely honest. See how they're going. The exact same thing. Clean that up. All right, the name is Colonial. So you can see I'm on page 33, so that means 300 results. All right, and 324. So it's just like the one back. So yeah, 324 results. Now again, how accurate is this compared to my tool? It's not as accurate because it pulls in a lot of noise. Our tool filters out the noise, but for argument's sake, I'm just showing you, it took me 2 minutes to get that data. Why is this important again? Because, like I said, look, our competitor Colonial has 324. What do we have? 248. Immediately, again, there's less mentions of our brand out there. And it's like anything. SEO is like anything. So, as an example, the more people that talk about your brand name, know your brand name, the more that spreads, the more popular it gets. Google's the exact same. It's like a popularity contest. So the more your name is mentioned out there on Google, the more Google's like, oh, I know these guys. I know what they're about, and I'm willing to serve them up to people. That's why this stuff's important. Now it comes to planning the strategy. Now, once you've done all of that, it's important you reevaluate the financial ROI for the SEO strategy. Okay. You understand maybe what keywords you want to go after. You now have a long list of target keywords. You now know how many backlinks you need to rank for that keyword. You now know all of this. So now you have all of those numbers, as I showed you. Remember, it's the same process. You just do it for a different keyword. Same process, different keyword. You can easily come down to your keyword research and you can go to your keyword gap and see, okay, this is where this information is. I want to get this. I want to copy this one out. I want to copy that one out. You get to do all of this. It's very, very easy to do. It's not hard to do at all. Super, super simple. And then you're just building on the process of once you'd come back over, let's go back to the ROI calculator. You can sit here with this, especially once you've validated, okay, I'm going to, if, again, you want to rank for Tampa assisted living facility. Again, what's that going to take? This is how many searches it is. This is how many referring domains I need. This is how many reviews I need to show up in Google for that. This is what you're doing. You're assessing again, okay, now I've actually got numbers. I've got keywords. I've got what I want to go after. How much is it going to cost? And what am I going to get? Redo that evaluation again. That's what we always do. We always do it when someone says, I know, my teams, we've all been doing this for a long time. We can look at a SERP. We know an area. We know this industry like it's the back of our hand. So if you come to me from, I don't know, let's say a smaller area, immediately I can be like, yes or no. But then we'll conduct this anyway. We have a much more in-depth and automated process for this, but we always assess it because if the numbers are tight, I'm going to be honest, so I'm in this to win it with you. So if you've come to us for our services, I'm going to come back to you and say, hey mate, these numbers she's borderline. Maybe SEO isn't the right strategy for us now. That's how we do SEO when we're doing that for the senior living facilities we work with. Other people don't, but that's what we do because we actually have a guarantee on our work that will always cover our costs. So we need to make sure that you're going to cover our costs. And if it doesn't work, we'll tell you, hey mate, there's not money to be made for both of us. That's how we're different. And that's why we do it this way. Because I need to make money, you need to make money. SEO is about making money. We're doing all of this because We want to make money. We believe we're the best providers. So same as you would for your facility, you want to provide that excellent to others. Right, so then you're jumping over to the SEO ROI calculator. Now, this is just a brief layout, but this is where you want to look at it. So again, if you're looking at hiring an agency or investing the money yourself, you can easily come over here. You can go to, let's say, $2,000 a month, 12-month period. Here's your total costs. Here's your organic traffic. Here's the total amount of conversions you could get at it. But then the real data is down here on how many people you're actually going to have, 1, 2 clients. All of this data is pulled in. Here's a pretty typical average lifetime value. So you're going to sit here right away and be like, here's our total revenue. Here's how many people we got to come in the door, the move-ins we've had. Here's the lifetime value of each one on average. Then the main thing that you're focusing on are these numbers down here. Realistically, the profit generated, all right, after the cost. You can see if you were to stick with these numbers, you're looking at 102% ROI. That's enormous. That's fantastic. That's what I strive to get for all of my clients. But the thing is, you need to assess these numbers before you jump into SEO. Like I said to you, I would strongly suggest, even before you chat with me, my team, you're doing this analysis yourself. So you have a bit of an understanding, you have a leg to stand on when it comes to negotiations as well. We always charge the cost of a bed to conduct our marketing services because we don't typically split them apart. I want to make sure you make money and fill beds. That simple. SEO doesn't always make that happen right away. We need to do that with other means. So that's the thing. You need to really sit there and be sure of your numbers before you consult with an agency, before you talk with anyone. So that is something that you want to look at and review and ascertain and make sure, okay, is this actually worthwhile me doing? Am I willing to pay 12 grand to get 135,000? As an example. Okay, that's what you've got to be looking at. You've got to be looking at, of course, anyone's going to say, I'll give you 12 grand if you give me that number right now. So, of course, but this is what you need to assess. Now, let me show you how you build a winning senior living SEO strategy with the data that we've collected today. We've looked over the information and we've confirmed that, okay, there's an ROI here. There's money to be made. There's no doubt about it for us. Assisted living Tampa, that keyword, she's a winner. Let's go after it. What would I be doing from here? First thing I would be focusing on is a Google Business Profile. We need to increase that because if we look at this radius again, and bring up this radius for us, this map right here, that needs to be increased. That increase, we're getting phone calls right away. And that can be increased pretty quickly. You're normally looking around about 3 months and it should be popping for you. And you know what you need to do. You know where you are deficient. You know where you've got to do more right away. We know that the reviews, we've got to bring them up. Okay, post frequency is good for us, but it's not doing too much. And we've got the images, but there's just a couple of things we're missing out on, especially this. Google does not like putting in lower average rated people. Don't like it. These guys are super powerful, 4.9, and they're up the top. But these guys, because 4.8, 4.8, Google's not going to ignore that. So when you're 4.7, okay, you might have more reviews. These guys have 17 reviews. Okay, they've got 51 images, and that's where they've done well. Like I said, images matter when it comes to maps ranking. That's where they've done well. But the thing is, they've got 17 reviews. How are they beating you? You've got 58. Yes, geolocation plays a role into all of this. For anyone that's asking me about that as well, absolutely it does. But this is just the crux of it. So that's what I'd be focusing on. The keyword data, that's where I'd be like, go across the keyword research. All right, so this is just the keyword research. We didn't put in the keyword gap data into the thing, but it's the same thing like I showed you. You can get the unique, you can get the all. This is where you want to go through and sit here and look for terms that would resonate. Maybe you also have an independent living facility, okay? Immediately right here, you can see there's 170 searches, okay? So this is the type of thing that you want to be assessing. Senior living Tampa, okay? Should you add in that variation? Do you offer memory care? So memory care in Tampa, as an example, you can see here those searches. So maybe it's worthwhile creating a new piece of content specifically targeted memory care if you have that and optimize that well. And then again, there's another 110 searches. But again, go back to the drawing board, make sure it's financially worth it for you if you rank up the top for it, and then take it from there. See how much it's going to cost to make that happen. Now, creating pages in SEO is always a scary thing. I'd suggest a tool like Page Optimizer Pro. Okay, so Page Optimizer Pro is what you want to use. Now, it might seem a little bit biased. My biggest interview I've ever done with the Osborne digital marketing things that I've done was with this man, Kyle. He is fantastic at on-page optimization. Now, it might seem a little bit biased because if you scroll down a little bit, you might see an Australian bloke down here featured on the website. Now, the thing about that is, if you don't know how to write content for search engines, use this. It's cheap, it's accurate, it's going to save you a lot of time. This is what we use all the time. I've tried them all. We've built our own systems. I do have prompts that I can give away, and that is actually available on the sheets as well. Prompts that you just put into Claude and it'll create the content for you. But is it as good as this? And will it rank? 50-50. Maybe, maybe not. But the thing is, this is just the go-to for me. Okay. So you want to make sure that I've got another video because there's manual work required to do optimization of on-page content. It's not just enough to throw it into a tool because that's what everyone else does. That's what everyone else does. You have to do it manually. Yes, it's a long video like this. Go and watch that. That'll help you. But on-page content creation, I'll give you a few tips for it. Make sure that you include your keyword in the header, in the URL, and in the H1. Super important. That's where your main keyword would be. Like I said, memory care tamper, as an example, should be memory care tamper in the URL. So as an example up here, memory care tamper. The H1, memory care tamper, and on the title page, memory care tamper. Okay, super important things to remember. Now, building backlinks for senior living SEO and those types of strategies, I've got to give you a couple of tips here, right? Big tips so you don't go and do this wrong. Please don't go online right now and search by backlinks. That's a very big mistake. You could absolutely nuke your website for life. So your assisted living facility website will be finished. That domain that you're using, finished forever. So make sure you're strategic. Backlinks are a vote of confidence. Backlinks are something that's a link from one website to another. Like I said, as an example here, we can see, yes, I've been featured by Kyle and his team here. What this does is this, if there's a link on here with my website and I click that and it takes me across to my website, that's a link from authoritative. This is a very well-known tool. This is the biggest SEO tool in the entire world. Okay. So yes, it is a very well-known tool. It is a very good tool. But the thing is, these links are important to you. You go and buy cheap links, you're going to nuke yourself. Don't sit there and go, I need to get links from this and this and this. Ronald said I need 500, so I've got to bill 500. No, I'll pay $5 a link. That's not a smart strategy to do at all. What you need to do is be strategic and be accurate. Like I said, going back to our sheet, if we go back to our backlink gap, you need to build these. That's where you start. So you've got these websites, reach out to them. Reach out to all these guys, Tampa Magazine. Reach out to them. Say, hey, what does it take for me to get listed on this? Another thing that you can do for backlinks, reach out to us. We obviously have a lot of links in this space particularly. That's very important. I can't stress enough how much you need to acquire links that are in your specific niche. That's what Google's looking at. It's the biggest thing. You can do things like Haro, help a reporter out. That's where you get listed on big websites as well. So as an example, we've been included in Forbes, Fiverr, New York Post, New York Times, name it. We've been featured in it. So you can pitch to a journalist. I'm the expert in this area. I can fulfill this request that you've put forward. I'd love to help you out. These are the types of things that you can actually do as well for building backlinks in that space. But again, I've got dozens of videos on that, so go and watch them. Tracking and performance. On the actual sheet, on the marketing template sheet that we have, that we offer everyone, there's also a keyword tracking thing in there. So you can easily track the keywords. So let's say you set all of that up, you start ranking well, you've got to track where you are. But set up things like Google Search Console and Google Analytics. Google Search Console will track the clicks and where you are. It's not as accurate though as an outside looking tool. I personally think you need to have Google Analytics because it will show you behavioral data. You need to tie that in with Google Search Console and link in something that's looking from the outside in. So it'll verify what Google Search Console is saying. Pros and cons of SEO for senior living facilities. The great ROI. I can't go past the ROI, guys. Like, I've always loved SEO. It's where I actually focused first in digital marketing because the ROI was enormous. Look, a couple of years ago, you were talking around about 5 to 8 times the ROI. You give me 10,000, I'm giving you 50 grand back, maybe 100 grand back, especially in this space. So that's the thing. It's been an enormous ROI generator for me and many other people. However, it is getting harder. It is getting more expensive. And the value of organic is getting pushed and pushed and pushed down, as everyone can see. The big con of it is that it takes time, and especially today. It's taking a lot longer to get results with SEO than it did 2 years ago. It actually takes a lot longer. If you've got a new website, you cannot rely on SEO at all unless you're in a really easy area with no competition around, which I've not seen yet. Okay, so it's very hard to rank a new website. Okay, we've made it happen. We can make it happen. But compared to someone that's been around for years, if Colonial come to me tomorrow and say, I want you to rank us all of these locations number one, I'll get them number one. I'll get them up the top because they've been around for years. But if someone opened up facilities, bang, tomorrow in all of the same areas as Colonial, and then came to me and said, Ronnie, I want to rank all of it, same thing, I'm going to sit there and go, this is going to be hard. We've got to start you on Facebook ads and we've got to start you on Google ads first. That's where we've got to focus first. Then we'll move into SEO as we progress through. Okay, so there's different strategies. Well, thank you for sticking around for this Senior Living SEO video. Guys, we always make sure that we cover the cost of a bed. We always cover the cost. So if you need help with your senior living marketing, you need the experts in this space, reach out to us, book a free 30-minute call with us. We'll be happy to point you in the right directions. And we will tell you where you're going wrong, where you could go right. Maybe we don't work together. So be it. But I guarantee you that you're going to walk away with information. And like I said, we guarantee that we charge the cost of a bed. And we always guarantee that we will fill a bed. We guarantee it. As long as you're a good salesman and you can we'll get the tours. We'll get the people to your door. But it's your job to close it. And as long as you do that, we will keep working until it gets done. That's a guarantee we have on our work. So you won't lose money. That's how we operate at Senior Living Mastery. Reach out to us if you'd like to work with us today. You can do so by going to the website and booking a call as well. And if you want the Senior Living template sheets that we use to help all of our clients succeed, go and grab them from the website or the link down below. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys, because I always put out content on senior living marketing.